So this is the learning objectives. And then for this week, we'll cover the first two. You will be, you're supposed to be able to explain and discuss what international business is all about and explain the importance of global business. And next week, we'll look into the basic forms of international business activities, as well as discuss the globalization concept. Now, think about the business of World Cup. So, Alban, are you a football player? Do you play?
I used to play a lot of football, yeah.
You used to play a lot of football.
Yeah.
Sarah? Or maybe no, okay, not Sarah.
No,
but now, okay. So the World Cup is actually a global business. Okay. Just simple, just look at the amount of money spent. Okay, in 2018, Russia spent just on the Kaliningrad Stadium $300 million. Okay, just to prepare for the what do you call World Cup games. Okay, and this year, Qatar is estimated to spend 107 billion pounds sterling. Okay, 107 billion pounds sterling. Is that not a lot of money, Sarah? It's a lot of money. Okay, so what are the things that is actually, I want you to start thinking. I think you have seen World Cup before. The funny thing is that I do not like to watch football games. Only World Cup I would like to watch. Not English Premier League. Some of my friends, I will only like to watch World Cup because that's only the best. But I've not been following for many years already because I'm getting a bit older. So my time I spent on other important things. Okay, what are the issues in World Cup? Okay, let's think about it. Okay, let's just give me one or two things that that you think is important for in World Cup. Oh, sorry, Alban. Okay, anything.
I know, in what context? Like
Anything that comes to your mind.
The amount spent for the time the infrastructures are being used.
Yeah, okay. How long does it take to build a stadium? Many years?
It depends.
Yeah, but
a few months.
Yeah, probably a year or so. Okay. Okay, Sarah, anything? So that is facilities, available facilities. If I want to do, so Malaysia were what do you call trying to organize a World Cup, so I need the facilities. Who is the main organizer for World Cup? Have you heard of FIFA? Okay, for the football international. Okay, FIFA. It stands for some acronym. FIFA organize it, right? So how do they actually select a country? Okay, Sarah. How do countries actually? How did Qatar became? What do the countries have to do? Even Olympic, for example. What's the process? What's the process?
Honestly, don't know. I'm sorry, I really don't know anything about.
Oh, you do not.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
But,
it's okay. It's okay. Alban.
Don't they have just to present themselves?
Yeah, they have to present themselves. Actually, it's called bidding. Countries bidding. They are, I want to have it in Qatar. Okay, these are the facilities that they have. This is what I'm going to spend. So they present it to FIFA and put up. It's a competition between countries.
Yeah,
it's a competition between countries, right? So every country that wants to organize it will have to show their capabilities, their organization, the money that they have. Okay, so they have to invest. So it's are there going to be any returns? When you talk about business, you must have the outcomes. What's the expectation from the country? Okay, What do you think when many people came to Tokyo for the Olympic, which was actually postponed because of the pandemic? So you wanted to be in Japan during the Olympic, okay? So what happened if you organize a World Cup? What happened when you organize Olympic? What happened if you organize a Formula One race? What's going to happen? People from different countries will
Come.
come. So you have these tourists, actually, sports tourists generating revenue for the country. Sports tourists, okay. So you have that, and you have income for the marketing, for the ticketing. So countries will have certain expectation. That means it's big business, and they want to benefit economically from the what they call from the organization. Okay, so that's the initial. But World Cup has always been a tradition of Europe and Europe, basically Europe and America. Not America. Americans call it soccer. They don't call it football. They call it soccer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Such a shame.
Okay. Let me just show you. Okay. Many questions actually surrounding this. If you can think about it. Okay. So many questions and issues surrounding it. How do countries get to host the World Cup? So bidding, trying to lobby, trying to bribe, okay? Are the bidding process proper? Okay. And what is FIFA? What is FIFA? What are the requirements for facilities? What investment needed? What are the economic benefits? Host country, what is the benefit to the society? So even though this is not directly producing products, this is still a global business, global venture. Okay. In fact, if we look at this in much more detail, so the case explored the relationship between international business and FIFA World Cup. It is actually, because it consists of participants and stakeholders across the globe, it is very, very, very competitive. It is highly competitive. Okay, involves transaction between parties with vested interests who stand to benefit in different ways. Okay. If you go for more key points, I'm not going to explain to all this. Okay, this is it is a world. It's a big event. It is there are benefits. There are issues in terms of bidding. There are there are business model actually. So this is there are criticism on FIFA's business model. Okay. Let me see if I have my pen here. Okay. So you can you can read this and you can actually find out for the things which are involved. Okay. So what is actually international business? So if you can read this, can you read this? Or maybe Sarah, you read this for me and explain it to me.
International business involves any business transaction between parties from more than one country. It includes such activities as buying and selling raw materials, inputs, or finished products across borders, operating plants in other countries to take advantage of local resources, and borrowing money in one country to finance operations in a second country.
Okay, so the first element is actually more than one country. Okay, right? It's more than one country. Whenever there is a business, and of course, business doesn't mean just selling cars or selling iPhones. Okay, if you seen just now, the World Cup is also an international business, or even well, this is international business. You are studying in France, but you are going to Japan to study. So, but of course, the product is education services. Like now, I'm giving education services to Meiji University. Okay, it's an international business. Okay, so it's involving more than one country, and it will actually includes buying, selling raw materials, inputs, finished products across borders, or even operating plants. Can you give me an example of an operating plant? What's any French companies in Malaysia? Albert, do you know of? Offhand.
Maybe a car company.
Car company.
Maybe
Peugeot.
you have, yeah, Peugeot is usually in Asia.
Okay, actually you're right, because there is a plant actually assembling Peugeot in Malaysia. Okay. Of course, the plant, the factory, they are getting the rights. This is licensing basically. It's not fully, having a factory like Toyota, for example. Toyota has factories in US, or do Toyota have a factory in France?
Probably, yeah.
Probably,
yeah,
you're not sure. Okay.
There's a car produced in France.
Yeah.
Yaris.
Yaris, Toyota Yaris. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, if you operate plants, that is already considered as international business, and including financial sector and so on. So it's huge. Okay, it's complicated and it's very big. Okay, it's a lot of things, right? So that is the fundamental what we call definition of international business, right? So it's actually, this is from the book. International business consists of business transaction between parties from more than one country. When you talk about international business, and of course you can compare with domestic business, so involve boundaries. Whenever we go to different boundaries, the issue of currencies exchange and currency use will be affected. Okay, there is a need. You must know about the currency being used, the value, the systems of of payment. Okay, using those countries, the legal systems, the cultures, and the availability of resources. If you want to produce a certain product, using aluminium, for example, or using some material, you want to know whether it is available or not. Okay, if it is not available, then where to source it, right? So that's the challenge of doing international business. So there are difficulties involved. Okay, so so we can look at the difference. What's the difference between international and domestic business? If you do business only in your home country, or in the domestic domestic market, not international. Okay, so what's the difference? If you come back to this, okay, what's the difference? So this is different, right? Of course, boundaries, when you do business in your own home country or your own country, so you don't have to deal with 2 legal systems or 3 legal systems. For example, Samsung has to sell, when they sell phones, or iPhone, for example, sell in different countries. So they have to meet the legal requirements for different countries. Okay, so that there are differences between doing business locally and also from international basis. Okay. Right. Any questions so far? Anything? And it's not been mentioned yet. I've not mentioned this. For example, when you do business domestically, it's much easier because it involves less communication. Okay, you did communication, Sarah, right? Okay, think about international communication versus domestic business. If you do business in France, what language do you use? So you can survive by just understanding French. But if you want to do business in Japan and you want to sell your product in Japan, so you know some of your employees or some of the people who are going to do the negotiation, for example, or trying to strike some deals, you must have people who must understand Japanese, right? Or you want to put your you set up your sales office or your or even your factories, so you must have people who actually be able to communicate with the what they call locals, you know, the people who are going to you're going to work with. So easier communication, and you know, less transportation. Transporting raw material within your small community, or you know, is your only in your village, so it's just source the material. It's very easy. Okay, it's much easier, and of course the use of other forms of communication, you know, information technology and so on. Okay, right. So the difficulty, or not difficulty, is the challenge. Okay, the challenge for trying to go international is that involves transaction that cross national borders, while domestic does not involve cross national borders. Okay, think about the immigration. Okay, you're faced with this, right? Even you want to go to Japan, you have to get visa to enter Japan. Okay, you have to get clearance, or even you reach the airport, you need to go to the immigration, the customs, before you can actually enter the country. You can be deported. Okay, imagine the same things like goods. You know, you go to the port of entry, so the goods must go through the customs clearance, and then only we can transport. You need to have transportation to reach the factory. If it is in Shenzhen, you have to go. Or even if you go to Japan, in the port, it is in Yokohama. Okay, you send to Yokohama, but the parts must go to Nagoya. So you need the, you know, probably the train to actually, you know, send the parts to Nagoya, which is about another 100 over miles or 100 kilometers. So domestic, you know, is very easy, but when you talk about international, the supply chain and so on is going to be much more complicated. And if you do not manage it properly, if you do not have a system of having effective and efficient management, then you will have a lot of problems. Okay, what happened when COVID struck us? What happened to countries? If you reflect back 2 years, what happened to all countries in the world when COVID happened, when the pandemic strikes?
Everyone closed.
So the word
The
is
borders.
yeah, the word is lockdown.
Yeah.
So we were all being, you know, not locked down. Actually, it's locked up. Okay, it's like in a prison. Okay, so we are now, all of us are in a prison. I mean, but at least you are now in Korea. You know, you should be happy. You are in Korea. You know, so that affected a lot of business, because you cannot. It's expensive. If you want to, you need cargo planes to send your parts. It's going to be much more expensive. Ports processing is very slow. So it's affected trade a lot. Okay, trade have actually reduced a lot during the pandemic. But now I read already somewhere that it's actually returning back to almost before pandemic level trades, in terms of trade, but not in terms of this service sector. Service sector, tourism, airlines, you know, hotels are still suffering now. Still, they are not even food and so on. So they're not be able to actually recover back. Okay. So I'm repeating this again. One party will have to actually adjust to a different legal. So you need to understand the legal framework that exists in, for example, you want to do business in Malaysia, you must understand the legal framework, the need to register your business, you need to get approvals from different ministries and government departments. Okay. And also you need to adjust to the economic situation factors. You need to adjust to cultural system. Okay, if you do business in a different culture, okay, different culture, different way of doing things. Like in Japan, time is very important. So if you turn in late or you come in late, that's it's not that you're going to be immediately penalized, but it's going to be seen as not behaving according to the norms. Do you know that you cannot actually? It's not you cannot. You don't use a handphone in train in Japan. You don't actually make a call in trains, or you don't speak loudly in subways or in trains in Japan. If you're not used to that, then you need to adjust. Okay. Okay, but again, so we tend to actually you need to actually adjust and understand the different cultural system that exists. For example, if companies set up factories in Malaysia, every Friday we have Friday prayers. Rasara, okay, we go for Friday prayers. So they have to close factories from 12:30 to 1:30 or 2 o'clock for Friday prayers. Factories must allow workers to go for Friday prayers, because Friday, is the culture is in the country. Okay, why study international business? Okay, Sarah, why do you think you need to study international business? Why are you studying international? Why are you in this? Maybe you have some.
I want to work in international marketing and international communication also probably. And I think that in communication, especially cultural difference have a big importance there. It's very important. So as a consequence, I think that it's relevant to study international business.
But if you are in France, if you're in France, do you think you want to study international business?
Yes, I think I would like to, because I'd like to work in an international department.
Okay, so
of the company.
so you want to work in international companies that do business internationally. Okay. Okay, Alban, why study international business?
Yeah, I kind of plan to work in a transnational company.
Okay.
So it's probably going to be very useful for me in my future career, let's say, since I want to experience life a bit everywhere around the world. So yeah, it has to be useful. Yeah.
But in undergraduate, do they have like for example one topic or two topics on international business? Have you been exposed to in undergraduate? During the undergraduate, do you have one or two topics? That means it's covered in.
I studied international economics, but
international economics.
Yeah,
okay,
it was
so
like
probably international economics. Right.
For me, it was more international communication.
International communication. Okay. So there are many reasons. Okay, there are many reasons, and I think you have pointed out rightly that if you want to progress further, the only way is actually to work in an international company. if if you don't go out, do you think you'll become very open-minded person? Alban, if you don't.
If I would have never went abroad, you mean?
Berlin, yeah. If you have never been to Berlin, I mean, you have no abroad. Do you think you will be, imagine yourself, you are French. For that matter, it doesn't matter French or Malaysian or who have never seen, have not been interacting with a foreigner or someone who have different way of thinking. What will happen to the person?
No, it would be definitely less flexible in my mind.
Less flexible.
Yeah, less open to the change, maybe to something different.
Less open to different viewpoints and also opinions. They become very, what's the word for that? Very narrow.
Yeah.
Narrow.
Yeah, exactly. I think.
Right. So you have point. So you can speak Japanese, Sarah?
Honestly, I actually
watashi wa ima nihongo skoshi hanashimasu. Dekimasu?
わかるか? 日本語を勉強しましたが、my level is very bad. I forget everything, honestly.
そうか。
But I need to work
Alban, 日本語できますか?
日本語を話します。
少し。
No, actually not really.
そうか。
Very little.
But I really need to work on it, and I hope that I will be able to do
that is actually
so
why. That is why you need to be in, when we learn language, we need to be in the place where they actually speak.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm in Korea, and now I'm used to
picking up
Korean. And
how long have you been in Korea?
Actually, I went here last year for 3 months for the first semester when I was in Meiji. And now I've been here for 1 week. So it's been 3 months.
So you pick up the language.
Yeah, but I'd rather work on my Japanese, so it's kind of frustrating too.
So you'll get confused because I did learn a little bit of Arabic. Do you speak Arabic?
A little bit, but more like Tunisian dialect.
Tunisian dialect, not the pure.
Yeah, not the literal Arabic.
Literal لغة العربية, not the.
نحكي عربي شوي أما العربي متاع تونس. They are from Tunisia.
Okay. So it's so difficult. I know French is also very difficult language. French.
Oh yes, it is.
That's what people say.
Okay. Comment allez-vous? Is it French?
Yes, comment allez-vous?
Bien. Okay. That is what I really know. Okay. Okay. Why we study international? Okay, I have the answers to this. Okay, let's read this and see how you understand this. Okay. So we certainly, most of us, sorry, this spelling error, want to work for a company that's either foreign owned. Okay, you must look at this, foreign owned, or it is domestically owned but has some foreign operations, or domestically owned but is affected by global economy. So every person, every company will be directly or indirectly affected by international business somehow or other. Okay, of course, if you want to work, like what Sarah said, and you want to be successful and productive in your careers, so it's important to understand the basics of why and how companies conduct business across borders. Why do companies go abroad? Okay, there must be reasons. They cannot be simply, I just want to set up a factory. I mean, there must be reasons. Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola is everywhere in the world because they are competitors. Why Samsung and iPhone is everywhere in the world? Because if I then put my feet in Malaysia, I will lose this opportunity of capturing the market and gaining no world leader. That's why Toyota is everywhere in the world, because they want to compete with General Motors. They want to compete with Volkswagen. They want to compete with Citroen. They want to compete with, all car manufacturers. Okay, so once you know there of course it impacts on strategies. So you have studied strategy before properly, and you can see, going international is actually one of the strategy for growth, for example. Okay, but and when you know the reasons why, that how actually companies will need to go, international. They need to understand, the different regulation, the different, kind of challenges. So why and how? Okay, very, very easy. Anything in this world, if you can answer why and how, you can live. Why you are in this world? Okay, why? Because Allah SWT asks you to become the Khalifatul fil ard. Correct, Sarah? Am I right? Yes. And then how you want to become, this servant of God? So you follow their, God's commandment. Very easy. Nothing difficult. Nothing difficult. You understand why? Then you go through. Same thing, international business. And of course, not only that, small businesses are also the second point. Okay, the second point is that they are also more active in terms of, sorry, my thing is covering this. So they are more active, or they need to be more active, because small businesses will also, be part of the supply chain. So that's why now in the pandemic, it created a shortage of microchips. If you read somewhere from the, or you have heard from the news, microchips, chips being produced, used in a lot of electronic products. Especially today, we talk about digitalization. Computers, IT products, chip shortage. And they have to trace to small businesses supplying some materials used. So the supply chain, even though you say that, oh no, we are not involved in international business, but you're actually part of the supply chain. Okay, small businesses and more active. So those students planning to start own businesses, if you want to start your own business also, you should also be cognizant of the international business scenario. Okay, so you must recognize and understand that. Right? So it is important that and cultural literacy. Why you have international communication? There's only one communication. But of course, culture is not only communication. Culture is a religion, the behavior, the races, the food. The food is also a cultural literacy. Okay, so if you go to Malaysia, if you don't eat hot food, I mean very spicy, then you cannot live in Malaysia. Okay, that's if you go to Japan. If you cannot eat udon, then you don't stay in Japan. Okay, because udon is okay, Albert. Or you don't eat sushi, then you cannot be in Japan. Then that's part of the adaptation of learning different cultures. Do you know that in Japan, they have meetings after meetings, and they have night outs. They have night outs. I mean, they go to the bars. Okay, Sarah, we don't drink. I don't drink. Okay, but sometimes I do follow them to the bars just to be with them. Okay, I don't drink. I mean, I'm just accompanying them. The Japanese after work, they don't go back home. They go to the bar and start drinking and talking, and so that's their culture, their business culture. Okay, but of course, if you have a very strict Muslim, then you don't want to go. But I'm a strict Muslim, but certain things I will have to say. I mean, it's okay as long as I don't go beyond. Okay, food and right. So you develop the type of cultural literacy. especially, to learn the culture, that's why you need to know the language. Language is the only way to understand the culture, because if you don't speak their language, you won't be able to touch souls, touch the hearts, because only using the language you can touch hearts. Okay, then you can see, oh, that's why they say, when they say something, at the end they say to omoimasu, meaning I think, to omoimasu. So initially what they say is just, it's just, so you can ignore basically. And if the Japanese say, they say they want to, can you do this for me? They will say kangaimasu. I don't think about it. So they say, I'm not going to do it actually. So you have to understand. They have to pick up these nuances. Those nuances that actually, I have learned a lot, because I've been interacting with Japanese for a long time actually, okay? So those who fail to develop the skills will be at a disadvantage to future competitors. So you are in the front with your colleagues, your friends. You are now ahead because you are already in a global scenario, okay? And getting a teacher from Malaysia, okay? You're getting an education from Japan, but the teacher is a Malaysian, okay? Who's not a Japanese, but understand Japanese way of doing things, okay? Right. And also, number four, not all business techniques are developed in what do you call, in US or in Europe. No, not every good techniques or tools are developed in developed countries or developing, not to say developing, but develop basically. So students need to study international business so that they are aware of development taking place in other parts of the globe, such as the use of JIT system. This is just one. You may know, you may heard of Keiretsu, for example. Keiretsu is, the Japanese supplier system, whereby it's a holding, actually, it's a holding company. They do business between them, Keiretsu. Or in Korea, they call it chaebol, CHAEBOL, chaebol. So a business student must be aware of, concepts and techniques. Just in time is actually lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing is actually Toyota production system. A lot of companies have actually implemented Toyota production system, lean manufacturing. I'm an expert in lean manufacturing. Claim it's not that I know a lot about lean manufacturing, okay, because I do teach that in production management. Okay, so there are a lot of techniques that can actually be learned from different parts of the globe. Okay. So what I've done until now is actually introduce to you international business. Okay, what is it, international business? Briefly, this is just the beginning, and the reasons why you need to study international business. So this is this slide from the book actually. So in a summary, so why you study international business? Because it provides the knowledge and skills that are essential for your career in the 21st century. Okay, so future, if you have that knowledge, you'll be able to progress and be much more successful. So it helps you to make better career assessments. So, once a person is able to adapt in one particular country, for example, you can work in Japan and you probably want to try to explore working in in the States, but of course you have to understand the different culture, so you can make better career assessments, keep pace with future competitors. That means, are you both in LinkedIn? Do you know LinkedIn?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's that's the power of today's what do you call, we call it social media, social okay, of all the things. But that's very good because it's a professional. I can see people from all over the world, you contact and you network, and you can see I'm not in competition anymore because I'm already I've reached the next stage already. Okay, I don't want to, I would love to actually see younger people become much more successful and develop future leaders. And you stay abreast of the latest business techniques and tools. Of course, you can obtain cultural literacy. You can know the different cultures that actually the way of doing things, the behavior of different society, different people for that matter. Right. Can you see this? Can you read it actually? Is it possible to read? It's a bit small, but so I've just thrown in a few questions here. Okay, I just thrown in a few questions, which is actually so what is it actually? So it's the iPhone supply chain. Okay, of course you can Google this. It's just a brief. How many countries are shown here? Sarah, can you see the countries that's actually being shown in the this picture?
Sorry, my battery is low. I need to put my
Okay. Alban, can you help? Alban, which countries are actually? Huh?
6 countries, right?
Okay, 6 countries. So what are they? South
Korea,
Japan,
United States, Japan,
Italy,
Germany,
Taiwan, Germany. Okay, but probably it's not showing everything. China is another one. Okay?
Yeah, true.
Okay, so China is actually, so if you start from here, California, US, so Apple designs the iPhone. So design is in the headquarters in California. And it sends out orders for parts to dozens of companies all around the globe, all around the world. So this is the design, this is the chip, this is the, this is the button, this is the casing, this is the glass, this, okay. So Texas Instrument makes the touch screen controller in US, somewhere in Europe, US. Micron makes the flash memory. Cirrus Logic makes the audio controller. And then, that is in US. In Taiwan, in South Korea, Samsung makes the memory and application processor. In Japan, Murata makes the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi components. So this is only probably the first tier only. We call it tier. Okay, in supply chain, we call it tier. Okay, Infineon makes this phone network components, and so on. So all these are sent to Shenzhen. Shenzhen iPhones are assembled in China. So whenever people use iPhone, it's actually made in China. It's not made in in US. Okay, but made by Apple. There's a difference between made by Apple and made in China. Okay, if you put made by Apple, probably is a higher level of perception, better perception. Okay, Nike or Adidas made in Bangladesh. Okay, Alban, you still buy Adidas made in the Bangladesh?
Probably, I don't know.
Of course. Okay, you buy shirts. Okay, you see at the label, and you will see there made in, Yeah. But that's what this is the global business happening. Okay, is what is So what countries? So this is just a glimpse. This is just a glimpse. It's not the whole. Okay, it's not the whole picture. What kind of components are being produced? So these are the the hundreds of components. This is only the you know, the what do you call some of components. So if I produce in Samsung, okay, I will sell it to, I will have to sell it. I have to actually, you know, transfer funds to Shenzhen. Shenzhen have to pay to Samsung for this. So what currency do I use, Sarah? You know, what currency should I use? Just a guess, just guess, just, you know, wild guess. Alban, what if Samsung exports the memory and application processor to Shenzhen, how will Apple Shenzhen pay Samsung?
In yuan or won?
In yuan or
one or both,
or in US dollars? You do not know. Maybe the contract is in
yeah,
US dollars.
possibly, yeah.
Possible. Okay. So imagine. So how do actually then they have to deal? So Shenzhen, Apple have to deal with Japanese yen, have to deal with Deutsche Mark, have to deal with Taiwan dollar, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Italy, what do they use? Italy, what currency?
Euro.
Italy. Euro.
It's
okay.
Euro, I think,
Euro is European is very, you know. So that is only currency, right? So imagine the, you know, the complexity just only in terms of that currency. And what happened to currency? Does it stay at the same value for the rest of the so what happened? Do you need to buy dollars in advance to actually, you know, save some money? So these are the complexities involved when you talk about, you know, financing, payments, okay? And where are the products sold? They are assembled in Shenzhen. So iPhone, where are iPhone being sold? All over the world. Do you use iPhone, Sarah? Alban, do you use iPhone?
No, I don't.
You are same as me. I don't use iPhone. I use Samsung because I don't believe in iPhone. Samsung.
I used Samsung for all my life, and then I changed in January.
Why?
Because I was about to buy the new Samsung, but it was very, very expensive, and the difference between the iPhone and the Samsung was only not even 50 euros.
Okay.
So my brother told me, no, you need to buy the iPhone.
I see.
So that's why.
I see. Okay. So, but I've been using Samsung for ages, for many years. After Nokia, it was Samsung. It used to be Nokia.
Yes.
Remember Nokia?
Yeah,
Nokia
I had several Nokia phones.
So Nokia became, you know, I don't know, there's no more Nokia. Nokia has actually died.
Yeah.
Same as if you have heard of Austin Motors, you know, or even Rovers. There used to be a Rover, you know, in Britain. No more. It's all dead. Okay.
I used to use Samsung because it was also way cheaper than iPhone, but now it's not really. It's not a big difference.
It's not a big difference. Okay. I use Note because there's a pen. Okay. So I like to actually sketch and draw things.
Yes. Sure, it's very convenient.
It's very convenient, and you know, if I want to do some modification, you know, I just sketch and see. Okay, so that is you know, the questions that probably will ask. So I have okay. This is what we're going to look into next week. I have not put into the you know, part of today's, but these are the things that probably will cover next week. The international business activities. Some of these you probably have seen before: exporting, importing, but these are the basic activities, and international investments, licensing, franchising. We'll go to the definition and explanation probably next week, okay? But for an assignment, okay, just assignment, because there's 2 of you now, okay? I thought there were 5 people actually, so group of 2 persons. Now since Norian is not here. So I want you to, can you read this? Can you actually, sorry. List different products you use daily, okay? And then you can list as many as you want, but not too many. And I want you to determine which firms made these products, okay? I know you have your computer made by Dell or made by Apple or whatever, okay? Or your footwear, anything that you use daily on a daily basis. Determine which firms, which companies made these products. Then select on product, not actually is sorry. I want you to just use one, just one. Select one product, okay? Select one product and not one, sorry. You see, from your list. So select one product from your list and try to do this. Okay, try to do this. In which country is the firm headquartered? Okay, you can Google this, you can go to the library, where was the firm's products manufactured? Okay, like you seen just now, I've given you an example already, okay? And of course, I don't want you to do that anymore. I don't want you to do iPhone because iPhone is, I've discussed that. So why do you think it was manufactured there? Why it was being manufactured there? Okay. What percentage of the firm's annual sales come from the home market and what percentage of sales come from other countries? If you can, get that data, that information. Okay. So that will be, something that you can start. You can start doing it now if you want. Okay, I have about 10 minutes or 15 minutes for you. Or if you prefer to, have it your day to day, I can, stop the class today and let you do as a homework for you. And next week we'll discuss which one you prefer. Your preference is yours.
I don't know about you alone, but I think that the homework option sounds good, so that Albon can go sleep probably, and also
Albon can go to I think that is also quite a good idea. Okay, so I will send this in the why don't you email me? I have my email address. I've put it in the Meiji.
Okay, I will email you.
I'll email this first and also your phone number, or I'll give you my phone number. If you can set up the link, the line, if you have line, it will be our class group, because I like to interact in the WhatsApp or in the video. No, I won't push you around. Okay, I won't use that to to harass you and try to get things done. But anyway, so we'll have this homework for you or assignment for small exercise and for you to discuss and present it next week. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So I let Albert go to sleep. Okay. It's already probably it's already bright outside. Okay. It's no more dark.
Almost.
Almost right. Okay. Right. Any questions? Anything? Anything that you want to pick my brain? Anything that you want to ask me? Even you want to ask me personal questions? I'm here to share with you. Anything. Alban?
It's all good for me. It's fine.
Okay, it's fine with Alban. Sarah?
Fine for me too.
You? Okay. Right. So I will see you next week. Okay, for our next lecture, and I will. That's why I need to actually send you the. I will share with you the ebook, but it's a bit old version. It's okay, you can actually, but if you can catch hold of this. This is the new book, International Business, the 9th edition. I'll be probably giving you. It's a ninth edition. 9th.
Okay. Yeah. because I think I was able to download but I don't know which version it is. It was from 2014. I downloaded it, but I don't know. Yeah.
If you have the same copy, okay, it's okay. I will email the
Okay.
Digital e-copy. Okay, I'll see you next week.
You.
So have a nice
Thank you
day.
very much.
Get some rest. Okay, and take care.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice
Thank you. Right.
Bye.
Bye.